All right, hello. I have Master Joseph on here with me today, and we are going to review and analyze some of my fights from St. Valentine's Day Massacre this past weekend in the Midrealm. Hi, Master Joseph.
Hello, hello, here to watch the slop that Quinn has put in front of me today. We'll see
Exactly.
we'll see if Quinn can get some good clips out of this and go from there.
All right, well, we'll start with the poker tournament. This was kind of just a warm-up tournament at the start of the day. It was like a bear pit, loser stays in, you build a poker hand, kind of
Oh,
more of
so it
a
is the
fun
the
type
poker hand
tournament.
one.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like these types of tournaments. They're usually pretty fun.
I think they're a great way to warm up for the day
I
and
agree.
kind of get your body moving. So
Hmm.
here's my fight against Wode. He's another college student. I think he's in Ohio. I think he's one of the Ohioans.
I thought you meant spiritually and not physically for a second. I was like,
No,
that's very rude of you.
like actually Ohioan. So I throw my normal shot here, but I didn't duck under it super well. And I
Yeah,
thought
it
it might
looked
have hit
like
me.
maybe there could have been a tap, but I don't know. It
Yeah,
looked fairly
so I
clean.
just refought it. I was like, if you want to do another one, I'll just do another one. More fencing's fun. And then
Yep.
I do the same thing, but I parry his sword down, so I don't have to worry about that. Because he had his zip up, and then I think he dropped it just slightly, and I went, boop.
Yep. All in all, you're basically just utilizing your quadrant here, and all you're doing is throwing your normal parry shot. So
Yep, yeah, because my
fairly
main shot
standard bout.
is I either cross parry and throw to the chest, like I did on this first one. Maybe I do it on the first one somewhere. Cross
Yep.
parry and throw to the
Fair.
chest. Or if I don't get a cross parry, I try to parry it down and out like that.
Hmm.
So that's kind of good intro of what I do for basically the rest of my fights.
Yep. Those two shots are for sure your AoE. That's what you're good at, and that's what you leverage on everyone else.
Yep. And AoE, what Joseph is referring to, is an area of excellence. It's from an epee book,
Yep.
epee 2.6.
By
This
Johann
one,
Heimberg. Yeah, this
I
one looks
snipe
like
his
you
arm. I
you
snipe his
go.
dagger arm. I kind of shift my guard up. When I do that, I'm not. It's mostly just to see if I can get my opponent to shift at all. I don't really move my body for it. I just turn my shoulders slightly. And then I just get kind of that parry down and stab him in the chest. He does get my right arm on that one, but
But I mean, you got the kill, so
yeah,
who's really winning, right?
not my arm. This one is kind of more interesting. This one goes a little longer. I think we doubled like twice in this. I don't know what actually hits me there. Yeah, she got me in my
Yeah.
chest.
Yep. Looks
My
like you were
dagger
just
was just
slow
a
on
little
that
bit
parry
out of
for.
position. Yeah,
Yeah, your dagger
I
was
kind of
under.
just lost her sword there and didn't bring it back up. I
Yep.
tried to parry with my sword. I did not. So we both died.
Yeah, it looks like that's a fairly standard thing. You missed your down, well, you hit your downward parry, she wiggled free, and then you just were late on the parry for, her, unfortunately.
Yep, and then this one, I think I missed my shot once,
Ooh.
and then I threw it again. Got a little sloppy from me in here.
Oh, we have playback speed this video. We're not.
Yeah.
We learned from our mistake.
She also had an interesting guard. The way she held her sword was a little different. Very, like, upright.
Yeah, it's slightly reminiscent of Fabris when he's
Yeah.
trying to void his blade. He voids his blade upwards,
Yeah,
which
so she
I've
actually does a really
seen arguments
nice
for.
dagger disengage here, I think is what it looks like.
Yeah, she just slips that dagger and then is able to.
I throw. Yeah, but I get around her sword too, so I think we fought
Mhm.
it again.
Well, yeah,
And
because in order to
I
stab you
couldn't
on that
tell if
side of
it
your
was,
dagger, she's got to void her whole blade
yeah,
over. So there's just nothing in the way of your blade at that point.
yep. This one, I think I lose my arm and I threw a fun right-handed shot at it. Yeah, so she gets my left arm in here. It's hard to see from the angle, but
Yeah,
I
that is
have my
kind of
right
loose.
arm. And generally, I'm pretty bad right-handed, but I've been practicing it because I've been fighting a lot of new people. My parries are gigantic with my right arm.
Mm-hmm. Definitely bigger.
If you watch these, it's just me frantically trying to not die. It's very, very big parries, but I get out of there. And then I generally, at some point, just try to throw a big long lunge whenever I lose my main hand, which is kind of what I do here.
Ooh,
But
nice
super
little
long.
duck too.
I mostly just ducked far under it.
Yeah, let's see. Because it looks like you just lean over basically with your
Yeah.
head voiding.
Yeah, I do a little feint.
Little
I get to
feint.
move a lot, and I just whoop, and I ducked under enough, and I didn't die.
Yeah, it looks like she was shooting maybe a little bit above your head, but
Yep.
it didn't even look like she got full extension on that arm.
Yeah, I did fold like in half, so
I mean, yeah, you're young, you're made of jelly. It's what you do.
exactly. I don't know where my next fight is in here.
Oh, hey, that was our Nora.
We could watch our Nora's fights too.
We could.
I
Who
fought
is?
the guy that Honora is fighting. I fought a lot that day. He's also
Hmm,
left-handed. Grimmel. I might have said that wrong. It rhymes with Pamel, is how he told me to remember it. But he was a fun fight.
no, great.
I didn't really see. We actually, he's got kind of a similar style to me with like the low guard and the dagger.
Yeah, it looks like they're trying to emulate some of the
Yeah, so
Tiger
he
stuff
does
too.
essentially the same shot that I did earlier, where he parry down and out and stab him to
Yeah,
death.
he just doesn't lead with them at the same time. He just
Yeah.
parries first, I think. Yeah,
And here's another one. This one,
fairly
I
standard.
parry up
Yep.
instead of down.
Well, that's your up and
And
out.
yep,
That's, yep.
up and out, down and out, and across are the general dagger parries that I'll do.
So I want to point out now that we've watched what like three or four of your bouts at this point, it
Yep.
seems like what you're doing with the majority of these is you're correctly gauging that you're just got the line on a lot of these people. Like they might not
Yes.
understand the best way to attack you or attack into your guard. So basically all you're doing is you're being very active aggressive and you're relying on just punching out your AoE, your main line, I would call it. So if you think of like the AoE as a tree, with everything leading back down to your trunk. There is in this world a straight line that goes from the top of your AoE all the way down to the roots, and that's your main line. That's like
Hmm.
that's your ideal world. If your opponent does nothing, that's what you want to do. And it looks like that's just what you're doing to all these people. They don't
Yes.
really they don't really know how to steer you out of your AoE, so you're able to
Hmm.
just kind of funnel everyone into that straight line down, and you're just taking these
Yeah.
bouts that way.
Yeah, and in some of my later ones in the other tournament, I do some other stuff.
Yeah.
This guy who I'm fighting here, he just offed that day. His dad's a knight, I believe. I was
Oh,
off
okay.
partner.
Nice.
He does some interesting like footwork stuff with his buckler. Kind
Oh
of reminds me
yeah.
of like the crab guard that, like the Fabris crab legs.
Yeah, the crab. He does have this very wide kind of walking stance,
Yeah,
um,
he. Yep.
which is reminiscent of like Bolognese style footwork. So maybe
Hmm.
he's working with some CNT
Yeah, I don't
kicks and doing
know
that.
what he's actually studying, but I feel like it's a style for sure. And then I think he gets my leg at some point in this, and then I throw a shot at his chest. He was doing really good that day, though, for just authorizing. Very,
Yeah.
like, bouncy. Young and bouncy.
Yep.
Look at that. Look at that. That's the crab stance I'm thinking of.
Yeah, that
Uh,
is that is somewhat reminiscent of Bolognese footwork.
yeah.
However, he's not changing his lead foot enough for it to really be that, I think.
Yeah. But
Maybe
anyway,
we
he
just
gets my
call it
leg, and I bring my sword just really wide and get it around his buckler, I think is what happens here.
okay.
Yeah. And then I think there's a couple more of my bats in here. I don't know. I just got this corner because that's where I set the camera up. I think this one is basically like all the other ones where I parry down, outer, up.
Yep.
Yep.
So in
Parry
these
down.
situations, this is an interesting thought exercise. What do you think the average fencer could do to stop you from just getting that main line thrust that you do on the altar
Yeah,
symbol?
let me scroll back. So
Yeah, so for instance, what could this person do different here to stop you from just binding their sword down and stabbing them in the face?
there's a couple of things. The one thing is, if you see me creep into your range to where my dagger can move your sword, you're basically dead at that point, unless you are really
Mm.
fast at covering that shot. Um, so whenever you're fighting someone who wants your blade on their dagger, you really want to try to avoid getting it directly under the dagger like that. For most like styles that are focused on using that dagger as kind of the primary parrying device, you really want to avoid getting stuck in that dagger. So
Yeah,
that's
I would
a
agree.
big thing that I get on people. Um, I think some people also underestimate our range a little bit.
Hmm.
Um, so I think some people think they're safe when they're not quite safe because my lunge is pretty long, and I'll throw some longer lunges as well. So I feel like I catch some people a little bit flat-footed. Um, yeah, and honestly, like my own style works pretty well against me. Just something that refuses the blade from my dagger. The other thing you can do against me that works really well is getting me to bite on that dagger parry and then disengaging it. That's probably where I die the most, is where people get me to trigger that parry and then their sword's not there, and then I die. So
Yeah,
that's
I would agree with
probably
you.
the main one that I like to do against people who do it, and then I get killed with a lot is just getting something that triggers my dagger, but then it being a feint and going somewhere else.
Yeah, and the hard part into this, as someone who fences you more than the average bear, I would say,
Yeah.
um, is throwing that feint is incredibly risky because I'm essentially playing
Mhm.
into your mainline AoE. Like, if I'm just slow on that feint, there's a
Yep.
great chance you just grab it and kill me.
And
Um,
I would suggest throwing that feint while not really in measure.
yeah.
So like around the edge of measure, or if you can, just outside of my measure.
Hmm.
So feint with a step to draw that and then throw that shot. So you're not, does that kind of make sense?
It does. The issue that we run into here, and something that is kind of like AoE is seeking to avoid these issues, is that in order to beat you, someone has to play into the thing that you're best
Hmm.
at, right?
Yeah.
So your AoE, quite frankly, is very simple. Most people's AoEs are very simple. It's usually just a parry four. The complexities on AoE is how you steer people into that AoE. And one of the main ways that people beat you right now is they will throw that feint towards that center line just above your arm. But the
Yep.
problem is that that's kind of where you want their sword to be. Um,
Hmm.
so if they don't judge the distance correctly, they don't have the correct tempo, they just don't do everything perfectly, they're kind of setting
Yeah.
themselves up to fall into your AoE.
Hmm.
Um, so it's also something that you probably do get killed with it a lot because the people doing it to you are probably just better than you,
Yeah.
or have more experience fighting that, or are faster, or have managed the measure better,
Hmm.
whatever. But you also probably don't notice the amount of people that do it to you and then they just die because you just
Yeah.
take advantage of it.
Yep. Yeah.
Um,
Another thing that kills me a lot is if someone baits me to charge in at them, basically.
yep,
Because I do, that's one thing that I need to beat out of my system still, is sometimes when I get going forward, I will just keep going forward until someone dies, and sometimes it's me.
yep.
So if you can bait me to just charge in at you, that's probably where I'm one of my most vulnerable spots right now. I'm also still very mediocre at leg parries. Fun fact.
Oh yeah, leg parries. Oh,
Yeah,
so sit you down, huh? That's what you're saying?
yeah. Yeah, that happens in one of these bats. It doesn't always work, um, but that's what me and Morgan were working on for a while was just my leg parries because I try to do it with the dagger a lot, but I'm supposed to do it with my sword.
Well, yeah, the sword is going to catch it and just generically be better for it,
Yeah.
especially
In arm
if you're
shots, you
parrying
can
the
always
attack.
get some arm shots against me, especially on my sword arm.
Yep. So everything you've said pretty much maps one to one with what I've heard from Rob Childs, what I've talked about with
Yep.
Morgan, what I've talked about with other people who do low line dagger. Um, so yeah, I guess the takeaway here, um, is that it's a system that's intentionally designed to have pitfalls, right? It's a
Yep.
system that's intentionally supposed to make it harder for the attacker to attack into you safely. And it's
Hmm.
also supposed to keep you flexible. Like it works as a system, just like every fencing system works as a system because it's supposed to be flexible.
Yep.
But this system specifically plays on the normal kind of cadence of a
Hmm.
fencing system, the normal inclinations of a fencing system.
Yep.
So being able to kind of recognize what you're doing and explain how people can kill you in it is a really good thing to have,
Hmm.
because you can widen that funnel, right? You can take more things into account when you're uh, broadening out and steering into your AoE.
Hmm.
So now that you know all of those things and you already know how all of those work, I assume you have like specific steering things that you do against people who specifically try these different tactics, like leg
Yeah.
shots onto you and things like that. All right, good.
Yep. Yeah. And some of them I just need to work on. Like, I just need to have the problem is not a lot of people actually throw leg shots at me.
Yeah.
Um, so I just don't have to deal with it that much. So it's kind of like, shit, you threw a leg shot at me. Um, yeah,
Well,
it's more
and
like the thigh shots. I'm used to toe shots because I can just avoid those, but the ones that I actually have
mhm.
to parry. I'm in the
Yeah, and it's
background of this one. It's kind of hard to actually see me here.
oh yeah, there you are off on the left.
Yep. You can't really tell
No.
what happens in it. We can go. There was one of Fergus's fights who won the tournament.
Hmm.
Um, I thought he fenced a lot like Baldwin. He reminded me a lot like Baldwin. It might just because he's tall and
Classic
wears kind of
tall
a
guy
German.
foo.
So it's this the mod in the red gloves and the big helmet.
Oh,
But
Blue
it
Scarf, is he an Atlantean?
I have no idea.
I think that's their Academy de Espa. I think they do Academy de
Maybe.
Espa. No.
But even like his guard looks a lot like Baldwin's, to
Oh
me at
yeah.
least.
Oh, that
Uh,
is the most classic Baldwin I've ever seen in my life. Holy shit.
and I struggle with Baldwin mostly just because I still have some trouble making it past like range. I'll end up in that kind of freight train I'm plowing towards a mentality.
Hmm. Well, and with Baldwin specifically, Baldwin is in my opinion, he's a reactive defensive fighter.
Hmm.
Like he might throw stop thrusts and kind of probing shots at you, but Baldwin is really comfortable when he's going backwards and throwing stop
Yeah.
thrusts. And you are
Yeah, and
not.
I
You are a
like
very active, aggressive fighter.
yeah. Well, I'm pretty good at stop thrust. It's one of my other things that I really enjoy is just stop thrusting people, but
Hmm.
I have to be in the mindset of stop thrusting as well and going backwards.
Yeah.
Because if I'm fighting someone who's just charging, it's essentially the same action that I'm doing forwards, just going backwards, where I still do basically that cross parry. Um, I'll sometimes throw my sword up into more of like a prima prime position though for my stop
Hmm.
thrust.
Yeah.
Uh, I'll skip through. This is the speed tournament part of it. I don't think I have too many of my fights on here. Here's another
Ooh,
Fergus fight. Doesn't he look like Baldwin fighting though?
he really does. It's oh
I
yeah.
was
Oh my
fencing him
God.
and I
That
was
over
like,
the
I feel
arm.
like I'm fencing Baldwin.
Yeah, that's very reminiscent of Baldwin's
Hmm.
style.
Even just
100%.
like the way he holds the dagger,
Yep.
it's very like it's like the same way.
More of that upright, kind of closer to the
Yep.
chest. Yeah. The tall man foo is hard, man. Like, no shame.
Hmm. And
It's
there
difficult.
were a lot of tall people at this event. I don't know what they're feeding them in the mid realm, but they grow them extra tall.
It's all that corn. They gotta grow tall, otherwise they get lost in the fields.
And then I'm also over here on this one. I this one was a buy fight, and I thought it was a non-destructive buy fight. It was not. I did not listen. Um, So I kind of just die in this one. It wasn't great.
Oh, this person's also lefty, it looks like.
Yeah. I think I just biffed a parry here. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it looked like. It looked like he just kind of in motion thrust on your outside line, which your natural inclination is to draw your dagger to the right. And if they
Hmm.
go for your outside line on that, it's harder to bring that dagger back, especially if they do it all in one tempo like this guy did here.
Yeah, because I tried to do his sword just wasn't where a righty's would be. So I tried to do more of a cross parry, but I should have done the up and out parry.
Yeah. Up and out or down and to the right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Anything besides a crossbody parry, basically.
Oh, I
Anything
recognize
besides
that
what I
guy. He
did.
came to Boar's Head.
Ooh,
That one Wedco member. That guy.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And Tesco.
I
Oh,
didn't get to fight
Desco.
him at all. That is not, that's someone else.
Yeah, I don't. This one person on the left is the pommel guy you were telling me about,
Yes,
but I
it
don't know who
is.
this
Yeah.
person on the right
Uh-huh.
is.
I don't know. It's not Tedesco though. He is wearing a very similar outfit to what Tedesco is wearing then.
Maybe it was Finn. I don't know.
It wasn't Finn. Finn was wearing a
Oh,
red
okay.
hat.
Oh, okay.
I think this bout was fun if we want to watch this bout too.
Sure.
I don't really remember. This is Michael and Grim. I do not remember Grim's full name.
Grim is White Boots.
Yeah.
Okay. And Michael's the winner, right?
No, Michael and Fergus are not the same person.
Oh, okay.
They just both have
Oh, there's Fergus in the
shiny
background and
helmets.
everything.
Yeah.
Oh,
All the mods at
perfect
this
timing.
event had like cut and thrust helms. Except Cat. Cat had a normal fencing helmet.
Hmm. Got him in the leg, it looks like.
Hmm. Yeah, I didn't watch this one super closely, but Grim won or at least doubled out from the legs. I think they might have got a double.
1 second. All right, sorry. I had to yell at my cat for a second.
That's fair. Yeah, some of
Yeah,
the angles of filming on this one are not great because I did not move the camera at all because I was
yeah,
fencing.
it's a little hard to tell what's going on. I mean, once you got someone
Yeah.
down on their knees
I
like this, oh yeah, and his whole sword is, oh wow, all
just
right.
want to see at some point a dagger go. Oh,
Oh, yep.
I think he just
He
drops it.
he
I
just
think
dropped it.
I think Grim gets the hand shot and he drops
Yeah.
it.
And then Michael
The
here is just
hot
like,
was
well, I'm gonna get picked apart, so I might as well just rush in, you
yeah.
know?
I think I have no idea what happened. That was funny though.
That's what we call a
I
little bit of the
was
ultra violence.
I was watching it though, and I was like, a dagger just went flying, and I think they refought it because it was a bit of a hot mess.
Ooh. Floor a little slippery. Looks like everyone's sliding around.
The floor was very slippery. I wear wrestling shoes though, so it didn't affect me too much.
Cool. That little spin move was kind of cool.
Hmm. Look at this intense foot doing a little J. This is what we call a
Oh,
dance off.
going after him while he did the spin though. All right,
Yeah,
I
I
see
know.
you. I see you, buddy.
This is fun to watch though. I was like, this is peak entertainment. The
True.
sliding is so bad.
It's
I think
yeah.
I don't know what type of shoes Michael's wearing, but it doesn't look like they were tractioning super great.
Neither of them are tractioning that good.
No. And then I think
I
I don't know what actually happened in this bout.
yeah, I was so focused on the dance. Oh, it looks like Grim hit him here.
Yeah.
Maybe disengaged the
And I
dagger
think
and
they
then
just
flipped
discussed, yeah.
over. Yeah. Here
And
we
here's the
go.
medium, Michael.
Okay, pause this for a second, just right here. So what right here, right now, is stopping you from throwing your high inside dagger parry and then just stabbing him in the leg on the right side?
I probably should have. I just never think about stabbing that leg.
Yeah, especially when they're doing this dagger foot forward, because you know that sword has
That's a
less
good idea,
range.
though. Yeah,
Yeah. So
yeah.
in this situation, this is like something that you can do to steer, right?
Hmm.
So attacking that front leg, it's at least going to draw that dagger down, and then you'll
Hmm.
be able to, from there, either roll around the outside and go for the head, or even
Yeah,
tag the
that's a
dagger
good
arm.
idea. Hmm.
Yeah. So just something to think about when you're fighting
Yeah, I
people who
think
do
I was just
wonky things.
focused on getting that chest shot.
Yep.
Because sometimes I do lock in on like a particular shot a bit too much,
hmm
and I'll just
One of
get
the
caught
things,
into a certain course of action.
yeah. One of the things that's very important in fencing is shallow and deep targets and knowing when to go after each
Hmm.
of them, right?
Yeah, and I throw a lot of shallow target shots. Sometimes mentally, I'm just like, I am throwing a chest shot now.
hmm
So just getting out of like that, I'm doing this no matter what pattern.
So he really took you out of your quadrant here. I
Hmm.
mean, he for the most part, you were active aggressive the entire day, right? You were very active with your blade work and aggressive with your footwork going forward. What made you more cautious? Like you're still slowly creeping forward, but you're
I
very
had
more
fought him
reacting.
earlier,
Okay?
and I was getting a lot of like kind of moving back, kind of stop thrust on him. So I was gonna see it. I think I might have been trying to get him to do that. Then I try to throw my shot, and I miss my parry very badly.
Yeah, it looks like you go up versus out a little bit
Yep.
more. Yeah.
Yeah. It just wasn't a great wasn't a great parry, so he got over it.
Yeah, it looks like you just rolled around to the outside.
Hmm. And then this next bout, I think we refought this one because it was very sloppy.
Oh yeah, wow. It looks like your sword got tangled up in his dagger, and his sword also got tangled up in your
Yeah, I
dagger,
don't.
and
Yeah.
yeah, your arms were crossed at that point. Yeah, in those situations, I always find it very useful to just try and commit all weapon to the sword,
Hmm.
right? So if your arms are crossed here, taking your sword in your left hand and just hard clearing to the outside is always going to benefit you because that dagger is probably coming in on you.
Hmm. Yeah, and we didn't really even get to dagger range here. I don't know.
Yeah, not really. It looks like he tried. He tries again there, but whiffs. Yeah, it just looks
Yeah,
like,
and we just redid that bout.
yeah, it looks like he did get his dagger free though. So in those situations, when you lose contact with your sword and you're not feeling that dagger, it's important to get
Hmm.
out
Yeah.
because if he had had an extra inch on you or didn't back up as much, he could have gotten in.
Hmm. Yeah, and I was a little more aggressive that bout. Obviously, I charged, but I didn't do it super smart or safely.
hmm
So,
Nice little toe tap.
yeah, the toe tap there.
Bonk. Just a nice little flick to the top of the foot. We love to see it.
I do love a good toe shot. Morgan hates toe shots. Morgan was like, "Don't throw toe shots." I throw them all the time.
Toe shots can be good. I tend not
Yeah,
to
she
throw
always
them,
told me
but
to aim towards the thigh. But I think it's because she's taller than me. At least that's what I said.
from an angle standpoint, she is right. I mean, if you apply Pythagorean theorem to toe
Yeah.
shots, toes are farther away than knee or thigh. Another reason, if you think about the mobility, when you said earlier that you have people throw toe shots on you and you just void your foot, I mean,
Hmm.
you can't void the knee or the thigh as easily,
Yeah.
right? And if they are
Yeah. I
voiding
mean,
the
I
knee and
think,
the thigh, you can follow up with a rising shot from that feint to the foot.
yeah. In defense of Tosha,
hmm
um, to me, it's just an easier one to throw from a drop point, especially
hmm
because when I throw my toe shot, it's a very low commitment shot. I feel like I have to commit a little more to a higher shot. Because this one I basically just go, I think this is the right one, straight.
Yep.
Boop.
Yeah, but this only works because he's backing up.
Yeah, and I mean it's not always the most ideal shot, for
Yeah.
sure. I could throw some of them more at the thigh.
Hmm.
Um, but I think post shots have their place.
Well, and I think exactly as you just said, toe shots do have their place, but you have to intermix it with other things. If you're just
Yeah.
throwing toes, it's going to be predictable. So mix it in with a couple of thigh shots,
And I
vary it
think
up.
they're a good feint too.
Hmm.
Like I throw a lot of toe shot feints, just to get people to move their guard down. And
I
this
agree.
one, I just got him charging forward on his knees and parried it down. The next one, I do basically what I normally do. What's up? Oh no, it's okay.
Yep.
I'll make dinner with what we have. I'll replace it tomorrow. All right, we tried. My car or key battery is dead, and Claire's gonna
Oh,
get groceries. I have a new one. It's coming tomorrow, but it's dead, dead. That's
oh,
what
the
she was.
fob.
What she used to. Yeah, the key fob. It's been yelling at me, and
Wait,
I
so
ordered
you
one.
have like a key in the fob, right?
Yes, so I can get the car unlocked, but the car won't turn on
Oh,
because the
oh.
Prius just has a button. It doesn't have anywhere you can insert a key.
No, I have a button on my, so I have a Chevy Trax, right? And it's
Hmm.
got a same thing where it's got a, like, no, it's just a button. There's like a thing on the Trax though, where if you put the key face down in like one of the cup holders, it reads
Hmm.
an RFID chip that's in there, and then it allows you to start the car. So
Interesting.
might be worth a
Well,
Google just to
maybe I'll
see,
look it
but
up later. Otherwise,
yeah, but if it's coming already, then who
I have
cares?
a new fob coming tomorrow. So,
Yeah, yeah, you'll be all right then.
all right, here's the last bout. The last bout I do good. I do what I normally do.
This segment, car advice with Master Joseph.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, this one, I mean, you creep in on the measure, he doesn't respect the creep in, and then you
Yep.
do a little, just a standard little thrust in, your standard
Yep.
AoE.
He does. He always gets that shot over me. I had to avoid down pretty far,
He does.
but
He pops it into Preem, which is actually a great idea. He just
mhm,
doesn't get his dagger on your blade. Um, so going into Preem, especially against that cross parry, is great because you can sometimes either curve your arm around the extent of your parry, so around the outside line, or you can just
mhm.
void the parry entirely by going over it. Especially if you're really tall, fighting you because
Yeah,
you're a shorty.
I
Um,
am a shorty.
so
I'm average.
it's a thing that works
I am relatively short though.
sometimes. You do have to be a little bit taller than like I couldn't do it. We're
Yeah,
similar heights.
yeah.
I don't think I could do it to you, but Baldwin
You
for
can look
sure
at
could.
me chugging a thing of water in the background.
Oh, we got to get the chug cam. There you are. Okay, I think I see
They
you.
didn't have like the Gatorade things here for water, so Jake and Svala brought a bunch of gallon jugs, and they were like, "We have a gallon jug for you," and I was like,
Oh my
"Thank you guys
God.
so much." So I was just drinking from it the whole day.
Quinn fueling up. Oh my gosh.
Smack down with the cap. Yeah.
Smacking that water in. It's important to
Hmm.
stay hydrated.
Here's another Fergus fight. He really reminds me so much of Baldwin.
He does this circular parry that's very reminiscent of
Hmm.
Baldwin's stuff too. Because Baldwin's trying for that clear line and trying to get blade mechanics on you.
Yeah, they're not like exactly the same, but just a very similar style, and they're also
It
both tall.
it is shockingly reminiscent, I will admit.
Hmm.
That fight especially felt very Baldwin-esque, I think.
Yep. And he's around the same height as Baldwin too.
Oh, so he's 7 feet tall and
Yeah, he's very tall. And here's me against Max. Maximilian.
oh,
He's in the
longsword guy.
big
Hell
long
yeah.
sword, yeah.
His
Also, I
outfit
have to
is
point
killer.
out, look at that cod piece.
Oh my God,
It's
that
a
is a cod
snail
piece.
cod piece. They call it a snod
They call
piece.
it the snod
They
Oh
call it the
wow,
snod.
that's
Yeah.
fantastic.
I
That is
I
just
get really
awesome.
close to stabbing right on the snod piece in this first one too.
Not the
That would
snod
be so
piece.
funny if I stabbed the snod piece. Yeah, so I don't there's no one in North Shield who fights longsword and rapier that I can think of.
Yep.
Um I fought it a few times like at war, and basically the only thing I try to do is just get past that point and stab them,
Yeah, I mean that's my generic
which is
strategy advice here
basically I
too.
don't know. I feel like that's the main strat for rapier longsword is you just get past that point. Um, I could probably stop a little earlier than I do on some of these, but I bind it down. I get it. This I took a screenshot of this clip
Well,
here because I thought
he
it was
didn't
really funny.
quite get the thrust. It looks like he maybe lays across your back here.
I think I take a draw cut here, but I
Yeah.
just thought this clip was hilarious with my hands like on his crotch and I'm ducking under that thing.
So when you say get past the point of the longsword, what's your strategy to get past that point? What are you thinking about when you're trying to do
Yeah,
this?
so I normally try to either get it on my dagger or lead with my sword. I think this one I led with my sword. Because generally when I try to get it on my dagger, most people who fight longsword in rapier are really good at just a straight line thrust with it, and that's
Hmm.
where I'd say they normally get people because it has a lot of range. And I've tried baiting that a couple of times on people, and it just doesn't work great. I feel like generally when you're the one with the shorter weapon, you have to be more of the aggressor.
Yeah, I would
Um,
agree with you.
at least in my experience, because when I try to get them to throw that shot, they generally have an understanding of when it will actually hit and when it won't. Um, so I try to kind of either do my bind out with it, or this one, I just have my sword on his inside and try to drive it to the outside, but he gets it up. So I stick my dagger up there.
Okay,
And then I
great.
think I took the draw cut there and we took a double. And then I do a very similar thing, but I bind down with my sword more on this one.
Well, before we get into this, I wanna talk about um, some ideas,
Hmm.
especially when it comes to someone with a longer blade. Um, and you've got two weapons here because I have fought a ton of longswords. When I was new to the game, we actually had a ton more people like this in North Shield specifically.
Yeah.
Um, because they were trying to make cut and thrust more popular, and one of the ways you do that is you take a longsword into the rapier field and you like let people see the weapon and let people like interact with it, right?
Hmm.
Um, I think standards were also a little bit different, so longswords at the time were just more flexible. Um,
Hmm.
Not that C&T standards were different, it was more so that just a lot of the longswords were older and built to more flexible standards.
Yeah.
Regardless, um, so as you stated with this, I think it's reasonable to say that you want to try and go in covering their weapon.
Hmm.
However, I think in this case, it's very important to understand that the longsword is always going to beat you in leverage on your rapier.
Hmm. Yeah.
Just two hands is greater than one in most cases, but that longsword's also a lot more limited in the movements that it can
Hmm.
actually do. That longsword's also going to be slower than your rapier. So instead of trying to like bait a thrust that you're trying to receive, I
Hmm.
would say it's more beneficial to try and get that longsword in motion first, right?
Yeah.
So what that
That makes
looks
sense.
like is a feint to the hands because they're going to
Hmm.
try and collect your rapier with their
Yeah.
cross guard at that point. Additionally, I mean if you're always in a situation where you've got two weapons and they've got one, in my opinion, it is almost always worth it to try and tie them up with whatever is your biggest weapon, and then you just run
Hmm.
them down with the other weapon. There's
Yeah.
no point in trying to parry with your dagger here when you're more likely to get that parry with your rapier and keep that
Hmm.
control over their sword with your rapier.
Yeah.
Um, so my recommendation is use a second intent when fighting longsworders.
Hmm.
Intentionally throw something, intentionally get them into motion with the idea that you're going to put your dagger wherever they decide to go next. And if you can do that most of the time, unless the longsworder pulls out something strange, you're probably going to be able to get that off
Yeah.
on them.
That makes sense. Yeah, I think I get caught kind of more in the single intention stuff when I fight long sorters.
Yeah.
Um, because I'm
Yeah,
just
with
like, I'm gonna
longsworders.
parry it down and just stab them.
Yeah, with
I think
longsworders,
throwing
I
something
think
to get them
it's
moving is a good idea.
yeah, it's just more beneficial to think in that second intention with
Yeah.
longsworders, I find. Mainly because it's much harder for them to adjust than it is for you, just because of the
Hmm.
speed differences.
Yeah. Yeah, his long it was like he's a very cool longsword.
It does look sick, I will
It's a
admit.
swaggy longsword. Yeah, so I get the bind out here, and then I
Yeah,
probably should have just stabbed him with my dagger to be so real, but I try to get my sword up and I kind of miss.
any draws
And I
here?
think I take that draw, and I think he also took my shot. I have no idea. I don't remember. I
Yeah, so in
think
this situation,
I think we redid that one because it was very sloppy.
because you focused so much on trying to get that longsword with your dagger, he was able to get off your
Yeah.
dagger because it's shorter. Whereas if you'd have
Yeah,
just
I think
thrown
if
your
I would have
sword
just
over it,
stabbed it or thrown my sword right away, I would have just killed him. But
yeah. But this
I
is
think
also an
part of that is
uncommon
just
weapon for him.
inexperience fighting it in rapier. I think one of
Yep.
these bots I do a clean. Yeah. That one, I get him to kind of throw something into my dagger. But this one I was able to do more of my normal dagger parry. And I noticed him kind of throwing those feints out a lot. So I was like, well, what if I just pick
Oh,
that up
yeah.
and stab you?
Yep.
Which I think is
Perfect.
also probably a good thing for me to do.
Yeah, that was a perfect demonstration of how to be reactive in that
Yep.
fight and just how to take advantage of that when you see it. So good job.
This one, I forgot that he had a dagger on him. So I think I did a perfectly fine thing here, but he also had a dagger on him. And then I
He
was like,
also had the
well,
dagger.
shit.
Yeah, that's hard. No amount of planning can prepare you for poor poor preparedness for the imaginary dagger, I guess. I don't even know.
Yeah, it was like, I don't know how I didn't notice it on him either, because it's just like in his pant leg.
To be fair, most of the time when I see someone with a dagger on the field and it's sheathed, I just assume it's not in play. Um,
Yeah,
because I assume it's there for show or not tipped or whatever, and like no one's gonna actually draw and use it. So the fact that he had a dagger and he was able to draw and use it, I
right.
think that would have caught me for
Good
sure.
on him for getting it out, though. I mean,
Yeah,
he
really.
gets it out pretty fast.
Yeah, he
It
really
was very
whipped that
funny,
thing out.
though.
Damn, that's pretty quick.
Yeah, right.
Wow, yeah, it is. Oh wait, nope, this is a different bout. That's the other, yeah.
Yeah, and
Oh,
then
I
this
see here.
one, yeah, I kind of get my dagger tangled in his shirt,
Yep.
and I just miss my shots, and I get to draw in my head.
I don't even, Quinn, I'm not even gonna dignify this by calling it infighting. You're
Wait,
just wrestling this guy at this point.
no, I think I also stabbed him. I
That's
think this one
great.
I did stab him.
It
Yeah,
does look like you may have stabbed him. However,
I have no idea. I
that
have
is
no idea
not
how I did this.
elegant. That is not an
No.
elegant solution to this
My
particular
fights
problem.
against longswords are not very. I did the same fucking thing I did in that first bout.
Yeah, you
I
did.
duck under and I stab him in the chest,
Yeah, you're
and then I
trying with the
think
rapier there, and it just looks like maybe it was
he gets a
short.
draw.
Yeah, draw to
No,
the face.
I have no idea. Looks like that might stab him there. I really don't know.
Yeah, I can't tell if he. I don't know. Honestly, it's really hard to tell with that backdrop.
And then my dagger gets stuck. And
Tangled up in all his accoutrement.
then this one I kind of fucking miss again.
Yeah, it looks like he just kind of sailed over. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I think definitely throwing something first before just charging in would be helpful. I just like I said, I just never fight the longsword. So my one strat is to
The hard
just charge.
the hard part is that so I actually specifically fought against Baldwin, who was doing
Yeah.
this at the time. And what I always found was that your single sword will always be faster than the long sword, but
Hmm.
in binds, they're going to be able to win. Um, they're always going to be able to outmuscle you. And at the end of
Yeah.
the day, like their parries are going to be more stout. So trying to parry their stuff is also going to be harder.
Hmm.
Um, so the general strategy I have when I fence someone who's doing longsword is blade avoidant, and I try to either bait them into throwing an attack that I can leverage, or I think in the second intention on my aggression.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. And I
Nowadays, I'd
think,
probably just throw my rapier over top their sword and just walk it in. So
yeah, against less experienced fighters, the just charging works. But against someone who does it a lot, you have to be a little more shifty with it.
yeah,
Yeah,
well,
and I'm fighting Fergus over there, but you can't really see a whole lot of it because we very
yeah, it's
quickly
very
move
far.
off a frame. And it cuts. I know there's a cut in the video. Yeah, I don't think we get any of the actual kill shots in mine and Fergus's fights in the video
I like that
because we
idea that
we
you had.
move too much.
If you go
Huh?
back to that little exchange that you just had, yeah, here.
Hmm.
That low kind of set that you did with that feint,
Yeah.
that kind of shoulder fake,
Yep.
that's a good idea to get him moving. But as you can see with Fergus, he's really tall and he's going to
Hmm.
swim to that outside line. So
Yep.
dropping your sword like that and kind of pump faking could trigger that overhand shot. And in this situation, I'm just not sure if it's that good of an idea.
Yeah.
And it looks like maybe he tries to catch
Yeah.
you on the
We
second
both
part of
got
that.
close. I don't think either of us actually got anything there.
Yeah, it looked like it was a whole lot of nothing.
Hmm. Yeah, and if I remember, I ended up just committing a little too hard on one of these and I died. Oh, no, he steps me in the face here. Yeah. You
Yeah.
can see him stab me in the face over there. I got a little too close without doing anything. And
Well, I
I
mean,
mean, that's the same
he's, you go. You do
that's the
it.
same shot that Baldwin gets me on sometimes is when I'm trying to creep into range and he stabs me in the face.
Yep. When you creep into range, one of the things that you should really be considering is that face thrust exactly, right? So a
Yeah.
lot of your game is you try to cheat the measure by creeping into range, doing some masking stuff for your footwork so that you can get closer to them, right?
Hmm.
A tall person is so much more cognizant of their measure than any other fencer that exists
Yeah.
because primarily it's their main advantage against other people, right?
Hmm.
So one of the things that I always focus on with Baldwin is making sure that whatever is the most forward thing that I have as I'm walking into their measure, I have a plan to defend.
Hmm.
So Baldwin used to hit me in the face all the time with that same shot. So I feel your pain, that little nice into over doink kind of deal. Um, he used to hit me with that all the time. One of the ways I beat it now is intentionally
Hmm.
understanding that that's something that he's going to do. So if I walk into measure, I have to be ready to fire a
Yeah.
defensive shot for it.
Hmm.
Which is why in the Princess's Sleeve bouts, the one shot that he gets me on in our finals, and I think two of the shots he gets me on in the first time we meet in the tournament, where he takes my first life, is he fakes that high shot and then rolls into a low
Hmm.
line shot and gets me in the gut.
Yeah. Yep.
And at that point, it's just we're doing chess. So I then have to anticipate the gut shot along with the headshot, and then we're just going back and forth ad nauseum.
Yep.
Ah, well done. Good hustle
I
on that charge in
think
there.
I get draw cut though.
Do you actually? I it looked
Yeah.
like he was mainly just backing up and you got the thrust in, but
It was almost a good flash. I watched it back and I lose his sword a little bit and he
you
draws it.
do. You lose it right there and he draws your
Yeah.
neck. Oh,
So I did the right thing. I just my dagger got a little bit off of his sword. Otherwise, it would have
Hmm.
been perfectly fine. Because I had the right idea. Because I have it over here. So I think the flesh is probably the right thing to do. I just didn't keep my dagger on his sword.
I agree that the flesh is the right thing to do, but you delay your own flesh,
Yeah. And
and
I'm
give
not
your
great
opponent
at
some time.
flashing either. Um, I'm mostly doing it against tall people, and I haven't
You
been able
have
to fight a lot of
to.
tall people. But yeah, his I just lose his sword just a little bit, and he gets that draw on it.
Yep. Well, so it's your dagger starts to point backwards as you're going forward,
Hmm.
which is when you lose it because you're by pointing your dagger backwards, you're reducing the amount of coverage that you have over that sword.
Hmm.
So it takes less distance for them laterally to get out of that bind. Um,
Yeah, and I went really fucking far over here on this
you did,
particular.
yeah. One of the important things to remember is form. I mean, look at this right now. Your dagger is over your shoulder and pointed behind you. There's
Hmm.
really like not to be, not to be down on you, but there's really no excuse for your dagger to be in this position, right? Like
Yeah, I don't know how it. I think I was focusing on my my flash.
you're probably focusing
That's
on the
not where it's
flesh.
supposed to be at all. Though. I think I was
Yeah.
like, yes, I'm moving in, and then I my dagger got lost. I
Yeah,
basically lost
so
my own dagger.
you
Yeah, because
did.
it ends up like over my shoulder.
Yeah, it ends up over your shoulder and pointed down towards the floor and not even down towards the floor because that would have been itself okay, but
It's just it
backwards.
ended up crazy. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think I was just focused on doing my flesh, and my dagger
Yep.
died.
Yeah, I think the problem there was you stalled on your flesh just a bit too long
Yeah.
and you just lost it with the dagger. Otherwise, everything
Mhm.
conceptually and theoretically was good.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like I said, I don't flesh too much really,
Hmm.
so just something that I should practice. And this one, I
Oh,
think we double.
yeah, it looks like he got you at the stop thrust there.
Hmm. Yeah, I think I lose sword a little bit somewhere in here. So I try to bind it, and I should have stopped going once I didn't feel his sword with my bind. I was a little overconfident in that bind, and then in my parry again with my dagger.
Yep.
Because my dagger also ends up a little bit out of place here again.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a very typical case of you just going forward without addressing the blade
Hmm.
appropriately.
Yeah, because
Um,
I try to. I just should have, once I didn't feel the pressure, I shouldn't have launched.
mhm.
But I was a little too committed to that action because I was like,
And
oh, his sword's,
you
yeah.
can even see with this person in particular that I don't know what your read on them day of, but it looks like with this specific bout, they're trying to draw you in. They're trying to just
Yeah.
kind of like throw that bait shot.
Hmm.
So they do a sort of step. It's not even really a lunge, and then they lean over with the idea that they're able to just push off of that front foot to get
Yeah.
out a little bit faster.
And I did, I mean, I stabbed them too here, kind of in the armpit area.
Hmm.
Um, I just didn't address, I tried to address the blade, but I didn't actually have it. So I should
Well,
have stopped my forward movement.
I think what's important here is that they were specifically planning on you coming in on them.
Yeah.
So in
Hmm.
that situation, their main goal is to get their blade out from any potential binds that they could have on you,
Hmm.
that you would have on them rather. Um, so what they're specifically doing here is they're feinting to try and draw that cross parry, and then they're relying
Yep.
on a stop thrust and more range, which is ultimately what does them in because they're relying on their range to keep them safe rather than, fundamentals or addressing your
Hmm.
blade. Um, so one of the ways that you could have avoided this is by stopping when you realized you didn't have blade contact.
Hmm.
Um, or one of the ways that you could have also avoided this is if you go back to when you throw your dagger parry on this person. So watch what happens right here when they're doing that little half lunge forward. So they take this step back, they throw with that step back. Is this the same
Yeah.
bout?
Yeah,
This
it's the
is the
same
same
bout.
bout.
It's a little earlier in the bout, I think.
Yeah, I got confused. So pause it for a second. With that first attack, you know what they were doing, right? They took
Hmm.
that half step, they did a fake lunge where they leaned over and extended. and then they took a big step back when you came in on them, right?
Yeah.
So when you know that that's what they're going to do,
Hmm.
one of the things that you can do in that situation is you can just cede ground to them, right? They
Mm.
want to draw you in, they want
Hmm.
you to be chasing them, and then they're going to rely on
Yeah.
their superior range to just hit you with a stop thrust.
Hmm.
In that situation, just back up, make them come to you, make them
Gotcha.
actually do the aggressive footwork forward, and
Yeah.
then it becomes a lot easier conceptually because they're taken out of their
Hmm.
element where they feel comfortable, and you're free to just focus on the defense, and
Mm.
then once they
Hmm.
commit to an attack, that's when you can go back to your
Yeah.
normal plan and hit them with your
Gotcha.
AoE.
Yeah. Yeah, because I think where I get kind of into a pickle against tall
Hmm.
people is I will just try to charge in because I'm very much that like go forward mentality. Um,
Hmm.
and sometimes I need to not look at this lunge though. Jesus
I know,
Christ.
right? That
I'm
foot is
fucking
up.
I'm going.
Yeah, you are. Doing a little jumpsy do.
But yeah, definitely some alternatives to that
Hmm.
are good for me to do.
Well, and I point that out because that's a strategic alternative.
Yeah.
It's not something you have to change physically, it's something
Mhm.
how you approach the bout.
Yeah, because I think I do struggle with letting people come to me sometimes too.
Hmm.
Because
Well, you're very go get 'em.
I get bored.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I was that once. I got so bored.
It's less bad. This one I actually do pretty well. I'm still doing the same aggressive thing that
Hmm.
I was doing earlier, but I do it in a little bit of a safer manner.
Well, and in this situation,
So they
you
throw,
are
I get the parry, and then I do kind of like instead of fully committing, I do a half step,
this is this is
and
something
then I
else that I
throw.
want to talk about actually. Another thing that I wanted to tell you specifically when dealing with tall people,
Hmm.
um, if you can conceptualize this for a moment, when you fence a tall person, there are two ranges you have to be concerned about, right?
Hmm.
There's their rapier range, which is their back foot to the tip of their rapier, and then if they have a dagger, it's their dagger range, right?
Yeah.
Which is the back foot to the tip of their dagger, right?
Hmm.
So you have that exact same range on yourself, right? Back foot to the tip of your
Hmm.
sword, back foot to the tip of your dagger. Think about this for a second. There's a pocket of space where you are past their tip, but your tip is in their chest. There, that
Hmm.
space exists when fighting someone much taller than you, right?
Yeah.
So that space is something I call the pocket, and it's something
Hmm.
that was actually taught to me by um, you. This means nothing to the majority of people, but it was taught to me by Gage's wife, Natalia Shelley. Um, she's very good at staying in the pocket, right?
Hmm.
So that idea is essentially a tall person relies on their point a lot and is
Hmm.
unlikely to get a draw cut on you in most cases, especially if you're able
Hmm.
to get into that pocket. The pocket it represents kind of an awkward distance for a taller fencer, right?
Yeah.
But for you, it's perfect
Hmm.
because you're not in danger from their tip, and a draw cut is unlikely because you're not really that close to where a draw cut would
Yeah,
be
it's
more
like
easier
just
for
yeah.
them.
Hmm.
So what you did in this bout that I think went really well is instead of launching immediately and trying to get that lunge, which maybe they were expecting, you took that gather
Yeah.
step in the pocket, and
Hmm.
you then proceeded with an assault from there, which I think is
Yeah.
a much
And
better way to handle this type of fencer.
I think that's where I actually do well against tall people is when I remember to do that. I call it like
Yep.
a stutter step. So I
Yes.
stutter, I stop, and then I go.
Well, the stutter step specifically is what you're using to stay in the pocket here, right?
Hmm.
The concept is staying in that pocket. A
Yeah.
stutter step is just a
And the
tool
stutter
that
step
would
is the
let you
motion.
stay
Yeah.
there. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So
So,
I get past their point.
yep. And again, that
Then
dagger
I'm where I
is
want. And then
flicking
I stay there with
backwards.
that step. Yeah. I think I gotta I gotta look at that.
You're too enthusiastic. You're too enthusiastic.
Well, the way that Morgan taught me to do the parries is basically just let gravity do it and just go like this.
Hmm.
but it does
But you,
sometimes after you do that, if you're trying to keep it on, you gotta focus on it a little bit more.
yeah, there is that's exactly right what Morgan told you. You do want to let dagger do the work and kind of drag it over and down, but you don't want to lose the tip on that as well, right?
Yeah, I think this one, I think I just fling it a little too far. I just kind of
Yep.
stop throwing it back.
No, you're totally right that you kind of want to let the momentum turn the dagger because
Yeah,
that
I think I
locks
just
them
let the
down.
momentum go a little too far.
Yeah, but then you're not keeping it parallel to the well, you are keeping
Looks
it
like
parallel to the
I'm
floor.
giving myself a
You're not
hug.
you're not keeping it like planar to your sword to form
Yeah,
that
it's
nice
just it's going
cross.
a little too far back there.
Yep.
Look at that freeze frame there. My dagger's way back there.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Yeah, I just gotta stop it before it goes all the way over my shoulder because that's not
Hmm.
necessary at all.
Yeah.
And then I also throw it into that prima position.
Yep. That prima position is great there. It gives you a little bit of extra range. It lets you get under
Mhm.
his sword. Um, One of my favorite things to do against tall fencers is to throw preem,
Mhm.
mainly because usually they're throwing preem. So if you can throw a preem into their preem, especially if they're offhanded from you, you can
Yep.
generally just stick your guard in between their sword and you.
And then I think this bout I actually do something different if it's the last bout.
Okay, all right. Let's
I
see.
I don't throw a crosshair. I think it's this bout where we double again. Oh no, this one I die. Never mind.
Ooh.
It's the next bout. This one they used a nice leg shot on me, right? Because we just doubled a couple times and I got my bout.
Mhm.
And that's what I'm talking about when I mean my leg parries are bad sometimes.
Yeah.
Because I should parry that with my sword. But I try to bring my dagger down and it's terrible.
Well, I think your idea here is to try and keep your sword free, but in those
Yeah,
situations, if someone shoots your leg like that, extend your sword towards their forearm and then just take a step back or
yeah.
void the leg and
I
you
also don't commit enough to voiding it. It's a super late, shitty void. Dumb. I also just threw a nice leg shot. It was very crisp leg shot. And then from here, I was kind of fucked.
yeah, once you're on your legs, there's not a lot of theory that can help you.
There's nothing I can really do. I was like, they're gonna. I try to stab their toe, or I try to get them to throw a shot. And that's about
Yeah,
it.
once
This one,
once you're
this
on your
one's the
legs
one where I
against
do
a tall
something different.
person,
This
that's
one I
better.
don't cross parry.
Oh, a rare non-cross parry from Revna. Let's see. Okay. Drop a little bit lower. Good. Mask the footwork. Take a step in.
Look at that. No cross parries
Wow.
involved.
There you go.
I don't throw the shot a lot, um, because I kind of need to get a very specific alignment to do it.
Yep.
Um, but I had been just charging and doing the cross parries a lot. So I was like, well, I have this in my back pocket somewhere. And I get them to bring it up kind of into my sword.
Yeah.
Their sword's down. I bring my sword up, which I don't do a lot. And I place it up over it and go, whoop.
Yep. One of the things I'd like to point out here is that you take a slight step to the outside too.
Yes.
Like
Yeah,
that
so
step right there.
that's a lefty trick is
Hmm.
just that slight step to get that angle on the outside. Because
It's
I don't
that
do a
one
lot
right
of
there.
angled footwork, but when I do angled footwork, it's basically just a tiny step that way to get this exact shot.
Yep, exactly. And that's what you should be doing in these situations because it gives you better leverage and it opens up a line that a lot of righties
Yeah.
can't really defend against that well. It's
Yeah,
the
that
same
part I was
trick I
just
used
like,
on Baldwin when I was lefty in the sleeve
nice.
finals.
Yeah, because you can sneak it in there, especially if you've been doing other stuff. Um, but yeah, I was like, I'm gonna do something a little different, and it worked. And then I think I have my fights against Tedesca here.
Oh, you're gonna fight a Desco? We love fighting a Desco.
This one, his style plays really well into my style because
Yes.
he's a very sword out fencer and he's not. I think he's a little tall. I mean, he's not like super tall.
Mm-hmm.
So his sword's just super far out. So I just parry it
Cool.
down and stab him. I almost get stabbed here, but
Yeah, it
I
looks like he
don't.
just slaps you on the leg.
Yes, I was like, it smacked my leg. Um, but yeah, the guard just plays very well into my style, basically.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. And Desco's more of a by the book Italian style fencer,
Yeah,
so he's going to be at that
and
shoulder level.
this style works really well against Italian fencers.
Yep.
And this one, I think he kind of rushes in, and we both kind of throw our daggers out.
Yeah, it looks like yeah.
Because I don't really try to go in, but I didn't really retreat, so I just threw my dagger out, and he threw his dagger
Yep.
out. We
Both
just
of you
redid this
kind of
one.
both of you kind of crashed into each other and then both hopped back with the dagger coming out. So,
Yeah, because I was like, I don't really want to. Oh, my weight was a little too forward. I probably
sproing.
should have been a little more
What
balanced,
what was that
but
little bounce? Look at that.
I was trying to get away from his dagger. I
You
was
have a
just like,
whole front
run
leg.
away,
Just back
run
up.
away.
I can't talk shit. I mean, I went up on one leg, so
Well, I already like my dagger was there, so I didn't want to take my dagger off.
that's fair.
And then this one, his sword's a little bit lower, but it's still very like out.
Well, this is so based on what I know about, so this is also still an Italian card. Um,
Yeah.
it actually kind of looks a little bit like Marcelli, but I haven't
I
spoken
mean,
with
it's
Desco,
essentially
so I
the
don't know if
same
he's,
as what he was doing, but
yeah,
just slightly farther down.
he's refusing the guard. Desco's been around long enough that he's fought a lot of refused fencers too,
Yeah.
and he modifies his style to accommodate when he
hmm
fences those types of folks.
The
So
thing is, against a refuse fighter, you can still do essentially the same thing. You just
yeah,
turn your dagger down. It's what Rob Charles would call the adaptive dagger, where you
yep,
turn it if they have a refused guard.
yeah,
So I just turn it, and instead of doing a cross parry, I do that more downwards parry because I see
yep,
that it's lined up to where my dagger tip will hit a sword, and I launch that shot, and then I go void.
yeah.
The
It
tip
looks like
slides over my
he
butt.
almost gets that, but yeah, he's just on the
Yeah.
outside and it slides over your back there. Oh, this guy
And
fights
then
rapier too? Nice.
mhm. And so this one was for second and third. He's like, I'll fight you rapier dagger because it doesn't really matter because it was the top three, got like the
Hmm.
scales or whatever. Um, I
Yeah,
just do
I
my
mean,
normal stuff here. I
that's
don't
just
know,
your
his sword's really
AoE.
far out. Whenever someone has their sword just far out, I'm just gonna
Well,
do
especially with
my
that straight
limb
arm
shot
he's got
basically.
going on there too.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Sometimes
basically just
I'll throw some limb shots, but
oh,
yeah, then I get him. We did 3 out of 5 on this one for funsies. He throws that shot very committed. I think I stabbed him like twice on this one.
yeah, it
Uh,
looks like you get him on that initial one and then on a
yep,
secondary shot too.
yep. I did the double tap.
Always double tap. We love a double
Always
tap.
double tap. It's better to double tap than to not double tap. As long as you double tap nicely.
Hmm. Oh yeah, don't be a dick about it, but yeah, it looks like all three times you were just allowed to go
hmm
into your mainline AoE with
Yes.
that cross
Yeah, and
parry thrust.
I do that little bind down a lot with my sword. I'm not really trying to bind their sword at all when I do that.
Hmm.
Um, I'm just trying to get them to do that, which is
Yep.
move their sword up so that it goes into my dagger.
Yep, exactly. You're just trying to get that sword off of the low
Yeah.
line and into your dagger's line. Yeah.
And like if I actually bind it, I do throw a shot from there. I'll generally throw like a leg shot or something, but it's not really what I'm intending to do.
Hmm.
And then I think that's all the fights that I had except pickups.
Okay. We can watch those too if you want.
Sure. Um, I do have some of me fighting furries on here, so we can go to those.
Ooh, we should
I
go to
also
those.
have some Mia and Michael, and then me and Fergus. And these are just pickups, so
Hmm.
I'm not like I don't know super hardcore mode, but
You can cope. That's fine.
I'm saying for the viewer.
Ah, yeah, sure, sure, yeah.
I
I don't
think I
know,
did
Quinn.
perfectly fine in these pickups. I don't
This
know.
sounds this sounds like a
I
whole lot
don't
of, well,
count
I
how
wasn't
many I
even
went through, but yeah.
trying. Like, I don't
No,
know.
I actually have a hard time sometimes, like in pickups when I'm fighting another like experienced fencer, like reeling it back.
Yeah.
Because I'm either fighting hard or I'm working on stuff, basically.
Yeah, those are kind of the moods that I get into as well. I'm either trying to get better at one specific thing or I am
Or
just
I'm
kind of
doing
going.
like an auth fight or fighting a new person, which is different. But
Well, yeah, but those are more teaching. I can pretty well separate teaching
teaching
from
bouts I do
fighting.
perfectly fine at. I like
Yeah.
to recently when I've been doing teaching bouts is I kind of just limit my toolbox to
Yep.
what I've taught them. So then it works on my fundamentals and they also can win like legit bouts too.
Yep. My big piece of advice when fighting someone in a teaching setting is if you're trying to work on one specific thing and you know that this newbie is just like new and they're not really looking to work on any specific thing, is to pick one thing from your toolbox and just really workshop it in a variety of different
Hmm.
scenarios against the newbie. Put a limit on yourself, like I have to disengage this blade before I'm allowed to throw an attack, right?
Yeah.
Um, which is going to help you just train up whatever fundamental action you're working on, and it's going to give
Yep.
the newbies more convincing bouts and more fun bouts for them.
Yeah, because you don't want to stomp new people,
Oh,
but
never. Yeah.
I also found that when I was a new person, I didn't like it when people would just let me win.
Oh, yeah. No.
So I still want them to win bouts, but I don't want them to feel like I'm letting them win.
Yep.
So I'll do like genuine stuff. I just won't always, if I get the opening, I'll just more of put my blade out there
Hmm.
and not really throw the shot. I'll kind of waggle my tip at their face.
Yeah, and
And
like
then
I'm
if they
still
don't parry, sometimes
trying.
I'll slowly just float it in there. But
Yeah, I mean, I'm still giving them a challenging bout. It's just more of
yeah.
what do you do when, you're the only experienced fencer at your practice and you still want to work on stuff, but you
Mhm.
have all these newbies and you don't want to just like use this thing. You don't want to like fight your A game all night and just stomp them because you don't get anything, they don't get anything.
Yeah.
So how do you still develop from that point while also developing other people at the same time? And it really does boil down to working on that one specific thing and then teaching them
Hmm.
how to beat it, right? Like if
Yeah.
they ask, what were you doing? You can show them and then it helps reinforce your knowledge and it helps them learn something new.
Yeah. Sometimes people ask me to do like 100%, and I just cross parry and stab them in the face. And then
Yeah,
they're like,
it's
"Oh," because if you ask, I will fight you normally, but it's not going to be the most pleasant for you.
well, and I have a video where I talk about, how to approach a practice, right?
Yeah.
Um, and one of the things I do point out is you do have to practice your 100%
Hmm.
A game tournament stuff. The real trick is finding someone that you're comfortable practicing that on and who's comfortable doing that at a practice on
Yeah.
any given Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday of any given week, right? Um,
Hmm.
so yeah, people do that to me all the time too. Usually after I win something, everyone at my practice is like, "Give me your A game, give me your best." And sometimes I can do it, sometimes I can't. Depends on the day.
Yeah. And I
It
feel
uh,
like
it just isn't fun.
when I do the best in tournaments is when I'm focused more on just having fun and not on the results. Um,
Hmm.
so that's kind of been my mindset recently is I'll be happy with how I do in a tournament as long as I enjoyed fencing and am decently proud of how I fenced.
Yeah, that's a big one. Being able to go out there and say like, I fenced really well and I feel good about my wins is
Mhm.
huge for development. Because at the end of the day, I mean, like, you can be the best fencer in the world, but if you're always just upset at your tournament results, or you're always just upset with fencing and you're not having a good time, what's the point in doing it, right?
Yeah. And I had like that kind of experience with tennis where I just kind of started fucking hating it because I was a little too focused on kind of that competitive aspect. I still like being competitive, like I want to win. Um,
Hmm.
but also I've kind of come to the point where I'm like, well, if I don't get to win, someone else gets to win, and winning is cool for everyone.
Oh, not me. I hate to lose.
Well,
So,
yeah. I don't
yeah.
like to lose. Like I'm not trying to lose, but I don't know. It's kind of taken me out of that negative mindset when I do lose.
Hmm. Fencing to me is whenever I lose, there's always a puzzle that needs to be unlocked or something that I can look at that I did
Yeah.
wrong or need to do better. Um, so generically, when I lose, it's almost inspiring in a way because I
Yeah,
get
I
to
kind
go
of like
over
I
it.
like losing. I think I
Well,
like
hold
losing in
on.
the sense that I get to learn, I should say.
Yeah,
Not
there
like
you
I like
go.
losing. I just want to lose all the time.
Come
I
on,
really
loser. You like
I want
losing?
to win.
Wow.
I would rather win. But you'd learn a lot more from losing than you do from winning. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I got a lot better when I started approaching losing more like a puzzle than as like
Yeah.
anything else. It was like, okay, well, what can I do better now? Like how can I turn this into a victory next time? How am I gonna account for this going forward,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah, I don't know, but that mindset shift has helped me a lot, kind of stay less anxious for tournaments because I
Hmm.
do. And now, like with tennis too, I got very anxious for tournaments. And now I'm kind of just like, well, as long as I enjoyed fighting in the tournament, then that matters a lot more to me than like winning. But I would much rather win
Oh yeah,
as well.
100%. So these bouts are looking good. You're playing your distance really well,
Mhm.
which is important into someone who's a giant like this gentleman here. Especially when they fight that Baldwin style. Oh my God, that
I don't
that
like. There were so many tall people at this. I don't know what's up with the midrealm, but they got all the tall folks
I'm
over
telling you,
there.
it's the corn, my man. It's
It's
the
the corn,
corn.
yeah.
They got to
They
see
they
over
would
the
need to be as
fields.
tall as the corn stalks, yeah.
Yeah, they got to be able to see over. No fun in a corn maze, but
But no, it
trade-offs.
was good for me to fight some tall people because I don't really have any. Well, I really just have new people at my practice at the moment, so I don't really have any experienced people to fence like on a weekly basis. Um, but the new people I am fencing are also not very tall.
Yeah, we're all short. Sad.
Yeah, I
Well,
might
except
go
for
visit Baldwin on a Monday night, one of
you
these
should hit
days.
up a Baldwin on a Monday
Yeah,
night.
yeah. And it's just if I have time before golf, if he's gonna be at one of the practices, I might pop by the Anago rapier practice.
It looks like a lot of these are just he either has the distance to play with, so he's doing a feint
Yeah.
with an actual attack, which again, you have to cover so much more ground. So being able to just feint at you repeatedly and then throw an actual
Hmm.
intentioned attack in there is going to be a winning strategy for these tall people. Or he's just managing his distance really well so that when you do commit to something, he's got enough room to react. It
Yep.
appears to just be very standard tall man foo.
And I do also have, if we want to, I can go back to the
Oh,
beginning of the video. Oh no,
oh no, not our private
Sevilla.
practice. Oh, don't link that. People will see me be bad.
These were my first fights of the day against Michael.
We got these warm up fights. Can't
Yeah,
see
they were
anything.
high energy. They were pretty fun.
Yeah, looks like it.
Yeah, he's he went versus dagger, and I was perplexed.
Yeah, he just started waving that thing at
I
you like a
was,
magic wand. Wow.
I was like, what is going on? It was fun though. I was like, hello.
Wake you up.
And no, these bats really did make me up. They were great bats to get me going.
Oh yeah, 100%. That dagger, yeah, that knee
Like,
walk
look at
too.
this. So I was like,
Wow.
ah,
He's just sewing machine at you right there. Damn, just
yeah.
swinging.
No, this got my blood pumping. Let me
Yeah,
tell you.
damn. This guy ran at you and just started swanging.
Yeah. No, these were really fun bats. Though. I had a
Yeah,
good time with these pickups.
looked like a good time,
I
honestly.
look so freaking skinny in these videos too. I don't know
I
what.
mean, you are
I
pretty
think
skinny.
I might just be skinny. Something about those pants though. I feel like my legs look so tiny.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know.
That might just be a me thing though.
They're a bit longer than most other people's
I don't
pants,
know.
but it's because you also have cuffs, I think.
Yeah. I
So
think
it looks longer.
I think they're from Marguerite.
Probably.
I'm pretty sure they're Marguerite hand-me-downs.
Nice. I'm actually in process right now of making a new outfit.
Nice.
All the
Yeah, I
fabric
need
for it's
to
coming soon.
finish some stuff up for goal fours.
Yeah, I got some Gulf Wars goals. Just a couple of shirts and a doublet with sleeves. It'll be my first doublet with
Ooh,
sleeves.
nice.
Very
Yeah.
excited.
I am gonna make short sleeve tunics
Nice.
because we can wear short sleeves.
Yeah, I'll just roll my sleeves up.
Yeah.
Big
I am
brain.
making a doublet with sleeves for Goldschlager night.
Ooh.
It honestly, I think it will be punch resistant. I haven't tested the fabrics, but they're pretty thick. It would be freaking terrible to fence in because it would be pretty thick and bulky, but I could hypothetically fence in it.
Hmm.
So if
We
anyone picks a fight with me on Goldschlager night, I'll be ready.
you should oh, this is I mean, maybe a little spoiler about what's to come on the North Shield channel. But I had a great idea. You should do an episode just around Gulf Wars traditions of North Shield.
That's a good
Like Moo
idea.
Boom, the tank, Goldschlager night.
I want to do an episode just about the tank.
I think that's probably worth it by itself. But
I was
as
gonna hit up Vlad,
a
and be like,
broader a broader
please
Gulf
tell me about the
Wars
tank.
North Shield culture would be
Yes,
cool
it's a
because
good
you could talk
idea.
about the
Yeah.
hunt, North Shield Night at the Green Dragon. Like you got a lot of
hmm
material there to go
And we
on.
do have we got a lot of Gulf Wars culture,
We
which
do.
is it's much farther than Pentic too. It's a farther
Yes.
drive. We're just big Gulf Wars kingdom.
Um, I could kind of give that backstory as to why, although there might be some other people who are
We'll save
better
that for the
suited for it.
episode.
Yeah,
We'll
yeah,
save that
obviously
for
not
the
right now.
episode.
I'm not
There's a
gonna
lot of history behind it, yeah.
I'm not gonna
I
steal
really
from
like
future content, please.
I really like both Gulf Wars and Pentic.
Yeah,
Um, I don't know. Penzik was definitely more of like a party environment to me, though.
yeah.
Golf felt more like kind of that, like, I don't know, immersive medieval experience.
Yeah, that's kind of always been my take on them too. Like Penzik is great. There are moments at Penzik that are truly like if you go to the courtesan's party, if you go to the parties down in the
hmm
swamp late at night, like there are moments where you just get lost in the spirit of the dream. Um, but Penzik overall feels much more like a big party, with some
Yeah.
fighting kind of intermixed in between them. Whereas Golf Wars, I feel like is a little bit more true to the SCA style of things, but
Yeah, and I think there's a lot more non-Skadians at Penzik too, which is
yeah.
totally fine. I love it when non-Skadians party with us, but
Oh, 100%.
um, no, this will also be my first Golfers being 21, so I haven't really
Oh,
experienced much of the golf
oh.
partying
So
scene.
so you're actually gonna do Goldschlager night. Hell yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Last
Oh
year I
yeah.
kind of did Goldschlager night. This year I can commit.
Well, just in luck, Goldschlager night's on St. Patrick's Day. So
Oh God, when night
you
is
are
Goldschlager night? It's Tuesday, right?
Tuesday. You are going to get to
Tuesday.
live through the tradition, the age-old tradition of patio Schlager.
Oh, incredible.
Yeah.
This is gonna be rough. Yeah, I realize I'm gonna be cooked at golf. There's a lot of night. I was like, I might not drink that much, and then I looked at the schedule and I went, oof, I probably am
Oof.
gonna drink that much.
I probably will drink that much.
All right. I think we can wrap up this analysis video, though.
Yep.
Um, I hope everyone enjoyed looking at those fights. I know it was basically just my fights, but hopefully you got some insights on how to try to kill me, and about the asylum.
Yeah.
All right. Was
Oh.
this recording?
It was. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Oh, here you go.
Yeah.
Stop recording.